Now, on the weekend, Gerard Gallant and the New York Rangers parted ways, which is the polite way of saying he got let go. I would think. I don't think you agree to leave, although he's getting paid. But what do you make of the Rangers? Because I think there's an obvious hire here, Frank. I think it's staring them right in the face, like literally right in the face. If they want to coach, he's the only coach in junior hockey history to have 4 50-win seasons. He's already had NHL experience, so he knows the pressure of the NHL as an assistant coach. He actually ran the Rangers bench during COVID when David Quinn was out, and all they did was crush teams.
By the way, coached Connor McDavid. Speaking of Connor McDavid.
Yes, Chris Knobloch. And he only coached McDavid for 2 years, but the 2 years after he left, he still won 50 games twice. Like Chris Knobloch to me, and I went through the list, Frank, of teams right now. There's 5 teams that don't have a coach, so there's 27 other teams in the league. 13 of them have a coach who it's his first time as an NHL head coach. Now, that includes guys like John Cooper, Rod Brindamore. They become excellent coaches, right? Jay Woodcroft, to go down the list. Some have had more success than others. And so there's 3 left. If you have 3 of the 5 hires are first-time NHL head coaches, that means half the league is first time. Like, I know that there's people that talk about, recycle. Yeah, some
That's insane to me.
Yeah, but there's not that many. And it's like players. You gain more experience as a coach, you get better. But I honestly, if I'm the New York Rangers, that's the guy they should hire. He knows the organization. He knows the players. He's had success at every level. And all you have to do is talk to the players who had him when David Quinn went out. They loved him. They actually wanted him to stay as their head coach. So don't overthink this.
I'm with you. I just had a big, long rant on this last week because in Calgary, people were saying, well, what about Bruce Boudreau? Or what about pick X coach that has been around forever? And it's no offense to Bruce Boudreau or anyone else. Like, those guys have made a living in this league for a long, long time for good reason. But people are so afraid of, well, he's a first-time coach. How do you think you get the next John Cooper? How do you think you get the next Jared Bednar or whoever it may be? Where do you think they come from? Everyone has to get their first start somewhere. And most of the time, they come through an organization and get promoted. And so Chris Knobloch has NHL bench experience, spent 2 seasons as a Flyers assistant, has now gone back to being a head coach in the AHL for a number of years. You can't tell me between winning 2 major junior championships in 2 different leagues and then having all of this pro experience that he's not ready. Or that Mitch Love, with the success that he's had with the AHL Calgary Wranglers, is not ready. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. So I don't understand the fear that comes with promoting these guys. And didn't Connor McDavid just say it? Was it last weekend when they beat the Kings? Saying Jay Woodcroft, he thinks, is one of the top 3 or 5 coaches in the NHL. Didn't he say that in his post-game? Where did Jay Woodcroft come from?
Yeah.
He came through other organizations, was on the Oilers bench, then went down to the AHL and came back up. He's found success. Like, why is everyone so afraid? Now, the funny thing in saying that is I think Chris Knobloch is a well-qualified, great candidate. I'm not 100% convinced that the Rangers go down that road because they have a team that they think is Stanley Cup ready. And obviously getting to a conference final and then bowing out this year in the first round in Game 7 with a talent-laden roster would indicate that there obviously is something there. But this idea that you have to get an experienced coach because that's the only way to win a Stanley Cup, I think is a shoddy process and thought idea.
And honestly, if you look at experienced coaches, so you mentioned Bruce Boudreau, I guess Mike Babcock. Obviously, it's not Gallant. So who are the experienced coaches that you're going to go get? Dave Tippett's done coaching. Dave Tippett's enjoying retirement. He's building homes. He's killing it in the real estate market. He's not coaching. So where are the other list of experienced head coaches you're going to go get?
I'm just pulling it up now. I mean, Travis Green, I'm just thinking through the list.
Yeah.
My guess would be that at some point Andrew Brunette gets another shot. I don't know where that's going to be.
And you know what's funny, Frank? He coached 1 year in the NHL, right? And Travis Green was a head coach.
Yeah, I mean,
guess
but he coached 1 year in the NHL and won the President's Trophy. So, like, let's be clear.
Yeah. Green has, I think, 4.5 years experience. So,
he's got 314 games.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Rangers aren't going down the Alain Vigneault path again. Barry Trotz is now in Nashville. I mean, you're right. Like, I don't see any reason. There's Claude Julien, 1,274 games. Mike Babcock, 1,300. I mean, none of these other guys. Like, last year.
Well, Daryl Sutter. There's Daryl Sutter.
I have a better chance getting pregnant. I would say last year was the time of year with all the experienced coaches that were out there that you might have said, hey, this would be the year to do it. But a lot of those guys got hired, including Rick Tocchet by the Vancouver Canucks in the middle of the year.